Welcome to SOUNDRAW GRID, a new ethically trained AI music production tool. In this video, I'm going to show you all of the use cases and features of SOUNDRAW GRID. When you open up SOUNDRAW GRID, you could choose one or more options to base your beat or sample on. So what I'm going to do, I've been listening to a lot of R&B, like modern R&B lately, so I'm going to choose R&B and maybe mix it with maybe just pure R&B. Let's see. Yeah, let's just see like pure R&B. Okay, so here we have like a really cool R&B sort of like slower minor key sort of thing going on. And once you decide on the genre and go to the loop editor, the first stems that the loop editor gives you is the drum and chord stems, but you have the option to add bass stems, you have the option to add melody stems as well, and you can even add more. So you start off with 4 stems or even less depending on what you're trying to do, but then you can add additional stems after that. So the drums, just kind of like classic R&B, modern R&B drums. The chords are also in that sort of R&B style. But what's really cool is that if you don't like the chords, you can always change them, right? So we're gonna go to the regenerate option, the regenerate menu on the chord track, and just see what else it gives us. Oh god, okay. So it completely changed it from like a modern R&B sort of thing to like a lo-fi, almost sounds a bit trappy sort of thing that's going on. But it's good. I like this. I like this. All right. Yeah, it's way different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and something that it also will do. So when it changes the chords, it actually changes the key. So just be aware of that you know, if you like enter the song, the loop editor, and it's in one key, if you do change the chords, it will also change the key that the beat that the loop is in. So just watch out for that. Okay, so let's add bass. Let's see what it gives us for sort of like a bass loop. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it's giving us this kind of like a lo-fi sort of like bass loop going on. Okay, yeah, it's completely okay. Interesting. Okay, yeah. All right, now let's add kind of like a melody top line and see what it gives us. Okay, so it's just sort of like Afro, like steel pan sort of thing. I don't really like that, so we are going to change that by opening the text to beats menu right over here. So in this menu, you can just type in a type of sound that you want, and then it will generate that sort of sound that's in your head that you typed out. So let's see, let's do a synth bell sort of thing, sort of like a soft synth bell. Yeah, and let's see what it gives us. Okay, so let's start off with this. Let's do this synth lead lo-fi hip hop sort of thing. I feel like it would work well in this case. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I do like this sort of like melodic top line. It is a bit too bright for me, so I'm gonna go to the effects menu, and I'm gonna use the high cut feature. So within the effects menu, you have high cut, low cut, chorus, phaser, delay, flanger, wah, and reverb. So let's just use the high cut for now and just soften it, bring it back in the mix a bit. Okay. Okay, this is way perfect. Yeah. Like now it's just like in the background. Like if you want to add sort of like a vocal melody, like it won't get in the way of the vocals. So now that we have like a nice, loop, a nice sample going on, one thing that we're gonna do because I just to have it saved, just to have these four loops kind of like in my pocket if I want to mess around with them more. We're gonna use the drag to export feature. So I'm just gonna open up Logic and we're gonna drag each of these stems into a Logic project just so that I have them no matter what. I could like use them to sample in the future, to chop and screw, do whatever I want with them. So let's just go with that. So here we are. Just gonna go over to export right over here and just drag them right into Logic like this. All right. All right. And here we go. And just be careful. So right now, the BPM for this loop, for this beat is 90 BPM. Logic sets its default to 120. Depending on your DAW, it'll either adjust its internal tempo to the stems that you bring in automatically, or you might have to change it manually. But yeah, so here we go. So now we have nice 4-bar loop sort of thing going on in Logic, and you know, we can just keep that on the back burner for now. The next step is that we're gonna go into the song editor, and this is where you really get granular with the sample, with the beat that you're trying to make. You could make a whole song arrangement or just do, you know, get very creative with it. Like, I do like this key as it is, but there is the option to change it. So you do have the option of plus or minus up to 12 semitones. Let's bring it up by like 1 semitone for the hell of it. I actually like this better. Okay, yeah, this actually works. Okay, so we took it from G sharp minor to A minor, and let's go on to the song editor to really get granular and create a full arrangement, or just, you know, really make this loop, make this sample your own. So now we're in the song editor. And here you can see we have our 4 main stems in addition to a fill stem or a fill track. And each one of these squares represents 4 bars. And what the really cool thing is that you could start getting very granular with the intensity, with how things sound, with changing up even like the samples and stuff like that. But let's just start off simple, press play, see how we can augment this loop, this sample. So as you saw, you have the option of either changing the intensity of a given stem in a given 4-bar segment. So you have the option, there's basically 3 levels of intensity. We have mute, like you don't hear it. We have level 1, which is indicated by 1 line, or we have full intensity, which is max volume, max intensity. And yeah, because as you could see, our 4 original stems are all color coded, you know, to the same colors that they were in the loop editor, but then they start changing. For example, the drums, right? The drums are in orange in this section, but then they change to blue. What that means is that SOUNDRAW GRID is actually giving you a new sample. It will be a sample that is in the same style, but it's giving you something new to act as a new section of that arrangement. Speaking of which, you can actually change the length of the arrangement that you're working on right over here, right? So let's just shorten this to like a nice minute, maybe like a minute and a half. Yeah, let's do like a nice, yeah, like a minute and a half, you know, and just go from there. Okay, and now we're getting into the new. Alright, this is very interesting. Okay, so that's very interesting. As you saw, it just gave me something completely different. Almost sounds a bit jazzy. Almost sounds like, yeah, okay. Alright, let's see what we could do with this. So as you can see, going after the original 16 bars that we have here with the original samples, SoundRaw Grid gave us something completely different, but that could work, right? So let's see where it takes us. I'm gonna enter a fill, and with the fills themselves, you have off, level one, level two, level three being the most strong sort of fill, the most dynamic fill. And yeah, let's just see. Okay. Do you know what this is giving me? This is giving me sort of like chill, sort of like vaporwave. That's what it is. Yeah. This is interesting. Okay. All right. Oh, why not? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I do like this sort of B section that it gave me. So if the original versions of the loops of these stems or the A section is giving me a really cool B section, I could imagine working this as a sort of last chorus sort of thing, or like an outro where like the groove of the song completely changes, and using the next set of uh you know stems or sounds within these stems in a sort of like outro sort of section. So yeah, I like this. I like this. So before we forget, let's just make sure to save this loop. Yes, we're gonna save this. And now let's rename it. Let's just do RB Wave, because the first section is more like R&B. The second section is more like that sort of like synth wave lo-fi thing going on. So let's do that. So now we have RB Wave, and next up we're going to download these stems as they are. So when you hit download, it will give you the full length of whatever is displayed at the moment in the song editor. So we have about a minute 36 worth of music to work with, worth of samples to work with. So let's go from there. So we have a couple options. Download the full mix, so that's just a stereo file of what is available at the moment. We have download full mix mastered, where it applies a mastering chain to the stereo mix, and we have download stems. I am interested in downloading the stems so I could really work these ideas, samples, loops into something new. But yeah, here we go. So now that I'm ready to export these stems, let's go over to the drop down menu and hit download. And we have a couple of options. So we have download full mix, that's just the stereo track. Download full mix mastered, that's the stereo track with a mastering chain applied to it. And download stems, which is what I'm interested in. So let's download stems. All right, great. Stems are downloaded, and we're just gonna save them to the documents folder, but you can save them anywhere within your computer. Saved, and let's head over and open them up. All right, so now we have the stems saved, and it's in a zip folder. That's super convenient. We'll just unzip that, and here we go. We have all of our stems, and we'll just bring them into Logic. So as you can see, there are many ways to use SoundRaw Grid to create beats and samples that you could use in plenty of different ways. The best thing about SoundRaw Grid is that everything is ethical. We have our own in-house team of producers that create the music that the algorithm feeds off of, so there's no shady, there's nothing weird going on. It's all made in-house, so you don't have to worry about copyright. Take whatever you make with SoundRaw Grid, chop it up, remix it, use it as it is, and you could upload it to Spotify, all of the different streaming websites, streaming services, and there's no issues. So just rest assured that we are on your side. We are on the side of musicians and producers. And like I said in the beginning of the video, SoundRaw Grid is just a music production tool. Ethically trained AI that you can use in any way without the guilt. So feel free to download SoundRaw Grid make samples, make beats with it, use it however which way you want, and just have a fun time using a new type of tool in order to make music. Reach out to us for help using the app or to just give us feedback. Thank you for your time and enjoy using SoundRaw Grid.